December 13, 2021. We're back in person. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Jones?
I'm here.
Commissioner Parker?
Here.
Commissioner Bartleman?
Here.
Judge Clymer?
Here. Commissioner Bartleman, you offer our prayer, please?
Let us pray. Father, we pause tonight to seek your grace and your strength and your comfort for the people of Graves, Marshall, Caldwell, Fulton, Hickman, and other communities affected by the unprecedented weekend storms. We pray for those who are suffering because of the loss or injury of loved ones, the loss of their homes and businesses, the loss of their possessions, and in many cases, the loss of hope. We pray, Father, for your cloak of comfort to surround those in the communities, and you warm the hearts of those suffering with the understanding that no matter the circumstances and despair, they can depend on you for guidance as the great healer, the great physician, and the great comforter. We also pray for all of those first responders and emergency workers who are giving their time and talent to serve the needs of those in these devastated communities. Give them safety as they perform their duties, and most of all, help them cope with the heartache as they deal with the death and destruction. We pray for the elected officials that they will have the wisdom to meet the needs to rebuild the communities and the lives of the people. We are comforted, Father, by the outpouring of care, compassion, and assistance from throughout the country as people pray, volunteer, donate money, donate food, clothing, and other items to help these communities. We also are thankful for the work of government officials who have put politics and differences aside to work together, shoulder to shoulder, to respond to the needs. We are reminded this time of year that no matter the devastation and heartache, we have hope. We are reminded of the birth of your Son, Jesus Christ, and that he died on the cross to give us the gift of everlasting life, a gift that no tornado or man can take away. We know that through you and your Son, Jesus Christ, these communities and the lives of those affected will rebound and be stronger in the name of Jesus. We pray, Father, in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. All right, stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before we jump into the agenda, this was prepared at least Thursday, if not before, and Friday was the tornado. I want to touch just a bit on that. It's been all through the news nationally, locally, and so we have our EM Director, Emergency Management Director Rob Estes will be up here in just a minute to kind of fill us in on what his outfit has provided, and Ryan Norman, Chief Deputy Sheriff's Department, is going to fill us in on the law enforcement aspect. Just in summary, Steve Doolittle and I were at the Emergency Operations Center Friday evening about the time this thing hit, and so was Rob and his people, and dispatched assets, trucks, light towers, whatever we could provide, whatever we believe was necessary, as requested by Graves County in Mayfield to respond there. They did so, worked through the night. Rob and Ryan, his folks, provided assets. They'll touch on what they did. We deployed a couple of dump trucks with a lot of barricades to try to help control traffic over there. I attended, I guess, all of the operations meetings over there, including when the governor and Secretary Mayorkas, head of FEMA, was here Saturday. I had discussions with them. By Saturday, midday or so, things were beginning to get shaped up. these things are, a catastrophe of this nature just requires extraordinary efforts by everyone involved, federal, state, local, volunteers, Red Cross. I can't name everybody that was there, but there was a table, I think CFSB Bank provided their bank over there at Mayfield as the operations center. A very large room, probably 30 or more of us around McCracken County, of course, dodged a bullet. We had very little effect from the tornado, but our neighbors in Graves, Mayfield, and then the other communities you just mentioned, of course, were very hard hit. My direction to emergency management department is whatever we need to do. So we did everything that we were required or asked to do, equipment, trucks, cars, whenever it was asked, hey, can you give us this? The answer was always yes. And if we don't have it, we'll get it. And I told the governor the other day, Saturday, we're family here in West Kentucky, and we work together and support each other just like they would had we been in need. Long-term getting through all of that. I was there all weekend, as were a lot of our people working through the night. They did. I went home, got some rest, came back. But I don't know that we could have provided any more than what we have, and I know you gentlemen are supportive of that, and there be no question about that we do everything we can for our friends and neighbors in their time of just dire need. Just the horrendous stories of rescue that we don't need to go into details on. I took away from Mayfield, ran up into Marshall County today. We I think 3 dump trucks and a great all machine over there to help clear some roads. Went over there to check on that this afternoon. Sent I think maybe 2 dump trucks and some other equipment to Graves, and they're working and will be for some time, I think, helping them get that taken care of. Secretary Mayorkas and his folks promised aid, and frankly, I told them, I've been in government at all levels since 1976 is when I started, and I know that government can be cumbersome, can be, sometimes if the right people don't take the lead, that it can be a delay in getting assets, getting relief, getting help to people that need it, and they assured me that wouldn't be the case here. Frankly, of course, we're only in a supportive role. Fortunately, as everybody knows, we weren't hit like they were, so it's sort of a difficult thing to be there, and I'm used to, trying to take charge and get things done, and we're only in a support role, but we certainly are providing everything I think that we possibly can, and Rob and April, EM2 have been engaged in this, and I'm proud of all our people providing all this for people that really were hurt, and I say, Ryan, you want to come up and fill us in on? We've got the sheriff here too. I don't. If y'all both. Okay. Yeah, I know you were up in, Marshall today?
Graves, yes, sir.
Okay.
So we, Ron helped me get some information together here. We had over 40 personnel from the moment this thing entered Graves County. Deployed over 40, approximately 40 personnel, 40 deputies to both Graves and Marshall County to assist. We performed road clearing, responded to a number of 911 calls for assistance. Like you said, Judge, I'm not going to get into any detail, but there was a number of events that I'm aware of and saw and witnessed firsthand of true heroes stepping up and perform rescue situations and undoubtedly saved some lives, both in Marshall and Graves County specifically. Provided some medical assistance, traffic control, security at the Graves County Jail. Contacted General Knight that night. I know that he sent some men up. We assisted with perfect execution of over 98, approximately 98 inmates from the Graves County Jail on school buses, and got them to 2 different jails. I mentioned the candle factory was kind of a main focus where we had went to specifically. A number of rescues there. Our role Saturday night kind of turned into more security. Judge, you saw it firsthand, the influx of people coming in, trying to keep the sightseers out and that secured. We have since provided from day one extra patrol and manpower to both Mayfield and Graves County, and we plan to do that until they no longer need that. As well as some security at the Jackson Purchase Hospital upon their request. I've spoke to at least 10 in-county sheriffs across the state, along with our president of the Sheriff's Association, Jerry Wagner, who's been a great asset in helping coordinate efforts as a liaison to get people where they need to be. But we've gotten Graves County, helped them get 4 cruisers donated that's fully equipped. They sustained some damage to some cruisers. It's overwhelming. One thing I would like for you all to jot down is I know you all are getting calls. I spent quite a bit of time this afternoon with Sheriff Hayden with some good numbers. Hopefully, there's been a lot of confusion to that. But a phone number, if you get a call for somebody that they can contact as far as volunteering, is 270 area code 331-1979, and for supply and donations, no money, but supply and donations. First number is 270-247-7772 or 270-331-0945.
Give me that one again now. What?
The last one is 270-331-0945.
Okay.
I've been asked to speak at the Rotary on Wednesday, and I'll maybe practice quickly on what I convey here. I've spoke to several people. I've got a good friend that's actively involved in 8 Days of Hope. He heads up many disasters such as this all over the nation and has for several years. And my suspicion, he says, I'm exactly right on, and I want to try to start encouraging people. You would not believe the number of people that has volunteered and is volunteering and wanting to help and get involved in the project. And Mayfield Graves County certainly needs it, but there's, the first point I would like to make is there's definitely other areas as well that needs it. Mayfield's been on national news, and that seems to be the focus, but we've got some counties even west of there and east of here that I was told this afternoon that Dawson Springs has very little help. So I think the first thing that we got to remember is certainly there's more areas than just that area that needs some assistance. The second thing is that I think every one of us can relate to when there's a death in your family, you immediately have an influx of calls, text, people coming by, bringing food, but within a matter of a few days, it kind of goes quiet. This is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. And I feel like it's important for people to recognize that this is going to be a multi-month rebuild and need that is going to exist. And for groups and people that's wanting to get involved, my friend with 8 Days of Hope has explained that in every single situation like this, the very first weekend, you got more people than you can keep in work. The second weekend, you've got very few people that can do the work, and by the third weekend, you don't have anybody to work. So that would be my message for what it's worth, to try to help pace ourselves. This is going to be a long project.
Do you know what, when people call this number about volunteering, do you know what the message is?
I do not.
I'm assuming it's not come to our location.
Yeah,
it's
quite the opposite. I'm being told that Graves County is being, their officials are being informed to respectfully decline more help from coming right now. They're still in a state of shock, as we all would be, and it takes a little bit of time to get some organization to these efforts. I'm working on some additional good outlets that people can volunteer with. The only one that I'm specifically familiar with that I know is in Graves and in Marshall right now is the 8 Days of Hope. They've got applications on their websites to where you can fill out so that they know what your area of expertise may be, to be able to coordinate and to deploy you so that it's going to be productive, instead of just mass chaos and everybody showing up.
We had some call the office today, and I know it's getting texts and emails and whatnot from people that wanting to bring boxes of supplies and that sort of thing. And what I told Vicki was to tell them if they would write a check, because with money we can buy, or they can buy. I keep saying we're supporting them, and so but if people will write a check, then the people who are involved in determining what the need is can then purchase what's needed. You can't hardly get into that EOC for all the bottles of water, and that's good. But and I suspect, from what I've heard, that water is not going to, bottled water, drinking water, is not going to be a problem. I know the lady from Red Cross said that they have a form they fill out, and a company comes with a truckload of canned water, I think in their case. It's Anheuser-Busch. I guess it's water in a beer can. I don't know what it is, but the and other supplies like that, and so it can even actually create something of a hurdle, and Rob may want to address that too. I don't know, that to manage bulk items, and then you've got a lot of things that people, well-meaning, provide. They go out and buy, and perhaps that's not what's really needed. But if you got the cash, you got the check, you can transfer that into whatever's needed, whether it's fuel or medical supplies or food or whatever. So.
On those lines, I don't think it can come often enough from enough of us, just as a reminder to folks too, that incidents like this certainly bring out the good and bad, and the bad that it brings out in people is there'll be all kinds of attempts for scams. Nobody's going to call and solicit anybody over the phone for money or ask them, so just remind your friends, neighbors, and folks that look up the room to not engage on somebody soliciting funds. That's not how any reputable place is going to operate, and we don't want to see people get scammed at a time like this, as we know the bad guys prey on a time like this to try to reap benefits for themselves.
Yeah. Y'all got anything, questions or comments or anything? Okay. Rob?
On the same line of what Sheriff Carter was just saying, in Marshall County, I was there today, and people need to be aware also of people showing up at their door or at their property, and they're telling them that they will clear their property and do work for them for certain fees. There are numerous volunteer and different organizations out there that are doing it for free, and there's scams and everything that's going on in our community that way already. And so, because the emergency management director and I were up there today, and there was different places that were having the same issues. But like the judge said, we were all together at the EOC when this event occurred. We watched it, I think, develop in Jonesboro, and we watched it come all the way through. When it hit, we immediately received phone calls from, actually right before it hit Mayfield, we started receiving calls for mutual aid because it was, we could see what it was going to do to Mayfield, and then Marshall County called and they requested mutual aid at the same time. Right after it came through Mayfield and was hitting Benton at that time, we were already deploying. We had our squad that was already next door. They had all of our vehicles ready, lights, side-by-side vehicles. We had trucks, chainsaws, and numerous amount of other equipment and people. We pulled out. We sent the majority of the squad to Graves County, where they responded to the candle factory. April Watson, my chief deputy, she was requested up there to help on the emergency management side. She went up there and immediately started setting up an EOC, the Emergency Operations Center for Graves County. They performed, the rescue squad performed numerous amounts of rescue and aid, and provided all kinds of aid, medical assistance. We actually had our ambulance was there, and we're providing, we've just about depleted our medical supplies, just treating the people at the candle factory. We continued, after April got everything set up at the Emergency Operations Center at CFSB Bank, we continued to staff the EOC and fulfilling resource requests at the candle factory and for our rescue squads and for our fire departments. And we assisted then in setting up the fairground, the Mayfield Fairground Donation Center. Like the judge was saying, the donation center, if you haven't seen that, it is a sight to be seen. It is quite a bit of donations there, which is a good logistical problem, but you have the problem with sorting through what is what and what goes where and who needs what. And we'll have a lot of duplicates and things like that to be able to figure out what to do with. Today, we're in Marshall County setting up multiple EOCs. I was with Wade Boggs, the Emergency Management Director. We went to concentrated our efforts today in West Marshall County, the residential areas that were hit out there. I know everybody's been focused on Moores and Cambridge Shores, and we focused today out there because the majority of the efforts that they have and the volunteer departments and everything they have is focused in Moores and Cambridge Shores. We wanted to make sure that we were getting everything we could out to West Marshall as well. So we've got multiple EOCs set up in that area. April right now is in a meeting at the Emergency Operations Center in Marshall County, getting more information, and we can set up a plan for tomorrow. Right now, we're meeting with the Regional 1 Emergency Management Director tomorrow afternoon to start setting up and trying to get more federal agencies and different things to fulfill the needs that are there. The cell phone signal is still very spotty in Marshall County, depending on where you are. Internet spotty, power's out. Water, I think, has actually come online today. Our squad, our rescue squad, will be assisting tomorrow with the disbursement of a lot of the supplies that they've got. They've got a bunch of donations, and it's a matter of getting them to the locations. And so our squad will be responding in the morning to take water where it needs to go. We'll have different sites that we'll have set up to take wheelbarrows, gloves, different items that people may need, and dispensing aid over there. I can't say enough about this rescue squad. The McCracken County Rescue Squad is and from ages, from when we've got young people all the way to people that are older than me, and that's all I'll say that way. But they were there, and they've been there. The countless hours that they put in. The day before this event occurred, we were on mutual aid in Livingston County. We spent 17 hours in Livingston County on a mutual aid request, and then we worked 22-hour days the next day. These are volunteers and people who take off their jobs to be able to serve the citizens of McCracken and Livingston in our community, and Marshall and Graves. And they're the greatest people that I've worked with. They'll put down anything that they're doing at their own just to serve somebody else. And I just thank you all for letting me have this position and to be with the people that I've served with, because it has truly touched my heart.
Glad we have you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Rob. Well, I guess, what do you think, Rob? You and I have talked about, of course, here's the perfect example of we need more and more people who are willing to commit to being a volunteer. I don't know about in the fire department, and that's one thing we didn't mention. I also saw some of our assets, fire trucks from our various fire departments over in Graves County. You start talking about these things, you omit recognizing certain people, and of course they don't do it for recognition, they do it because they want to do it. But McCracken County had school buses over there transporting people to and from wherever they need to go, and I think that probably will continue on. But there is a need, and I don't know if this is the time or not, but it can't hurt, I don't think, to put out a push for, if you're able, if you're able to even answer a phone or do paperwork or that sort of thing, we could maybe make a push for people who would be willing to join the rescue squad or the EMS, our fire departments or whatever, because a lot of people don't realize. I say it almost every time I talk to a group. I don't know if people in the county understand that this is largely a force of volunteers. There are some paid people that staff and head up the departments as there has to be, but when the stuff gets thick, we got volunteers that come in, they answer the call, and here they come, and we do need more people. You may not be prepared to accept the phone calls right now. If they want to call my office, we can do that, and it'll be a process to go through, I'm sure, to get that done. But this is going to, like you were, Sheriff, you said, this is a marathon. This is a long-term deal. Building back these communities. Again, we're in a supportive role, but and I'm sure they're doing this same speech in those affected communities. But if we can get people, there's a lot of people right now that maybe are out of work, or if they would be willing to take time on their weekends and stuff like that, we could sure put them to work. And we do have guys, we got some guys, that are very mature on the squad. I commented somebody, I was one of the younger people out there Friday night. And
They showed up later. They were there.
Yeah.
We had the younger ones showed up.
Yeah. But the more mature guys were there when I was there. I was feeling pretty good, So anyway, there's that. All right. So get on to the mundane stuff, I guess. Then we need a consent agenda approval.
Excuse me, sir. Before we approve the consent agenda, I need a motion to amend item EE to reflect that the name should have been Commissioner Jeff Parker.
I make that motion.
Okay, is there a second on that?
What'd you do?
Just second.
Second. Need to read
EE,
Well, that was my mistake. It was Jeff's training hours, and I made a mistake.
oh, training hours. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like you, David, but not that much.
Oh, that's it. Oh, that's it, yeah. Okay. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. Budget transfers.
It is ordered that the necessary cash transfers in the amount of $770,000 be made in order to pay county bills and payroll approved December 13th, 2021.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. Accounts payable.
It is ordered to approve the vouchers claims register from November 22nd, 2021 to December 13th, 2021 to show county bills in the amount of $822,934.76 were paid.
So made.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. All right, under discussion, we've got the Carson Park Barn 5. That's that Barn 5 is the barn closest to 28th Street there. There's been discussion, I don't know, maybe as long as I've been in office now for 3 years, about Barn 5. It is a horse barn, stalls in it. It is in very bad condition. I don't remember the number. I think we had an engineer estimate that, what was it, 150,000 roughly, Steve, that an engineer inspected and determined just to stabilize the barn and to repair the roof so that it was watertight, well, didn't leak. It was around $150,000. So then we would just have the same thing, but it'd be safe to go in it. And you wouldn't be wet when you're in there in a storm. And so I went out and talked to the board, Carson Park board, and so we talked back and forth. Anyway, at the end of the meeting, they agreed that the best solution would be to demolish Barn 5. Some discussions back and forth about that, and so we're going to get that done. We have we've put out 4 bids on the demolition of the barn. One of the bids is going to come from, in fact, I guess we've already got the bid, I think, from the outfit that is demolishing the Bluegrass Downs barns. And since there are 4 bids, I'm going to say what that bid was, but it's extremely attractive. Say that. And so I expect we get 1 or more other bids. And then we'll need to put on the plate to determine what we want to do there. When I talked with the Carson Park board, said, you know, this body, the fiscal court, is all about trying to figure out what's the best use of an asset, a space, a idea, concept, whatever we can do. And so there's all kinds of options on what to do, but I think we've all been on board on trying to make better utilization of Carson Park. It's our county asset. County owns it. It's right in sort of the heart of the city. And so we'll have discussions about that along with the board out there, but, perhaps some multi-use. Certainly, I think we need to give a preference to the concept of Carson Park and the you know, the basis for it having been donated back. You know more about the donation, Eddie, than I do, but it was for horse-related activities, and so there's the possibility we could go in there and put a high beam facility that for indoor riding areas, also multi-use for bringing in vendors for either agricultural or horse-related things, or, you know, it doesn't have to be exclusively, as we know, but I think to honor the donor of the facility, it would be nice to be able to use that for horse-related things. And when I say vendors, I don't want to see it turn into people coming to selling socks and T-shirts and all that kind of junk you see at a lot of venues. But I mean, it's just wide open. If we can dream it up, we can take a look at it. And, you guys may have some ideas about that. If you want to get into that just a bit, we could. But of course, and I told them at the board, I said, look, I'm not saying we're going to tear that thing down and we're going to build back next week or even next year, or maybe not even in the next 2 years. I don't want them to come, you told us we'd have something nice there real quick. But whatever it is, I want it to be, and as you do, I'm sure it will be something that we can be proud of, that can serve our community, have multiple events in it, and make it a real showplace. Build that park up to its potential, whatever that is. You all got any ideas?
Certainly appreciate it. I don't know the entire plan, but I'm confident that tearing down Barn 5 is the next right thing to do with our plans. Appreciate you.
I think that thing measured, if I'm right, 100 feet by 300 feet is what I was told. That's a rough size. That's pretty big. It doesn't look that big standing there, but once it's gone, there's going to be a lot of space there available to do something, as I say, really nice.
Does that would have salvage value the way they did at the end of Barnes?
Yeah. And that's probably, that's one of the aspects of why I think our bid to tear it down is going to be really nice.
All would have value right now.
I know what you mean.
All right. Let's see. And then on Sprocket, put that on there.
Do we need to take action to approve that, or I mean, to move forward with that, or
well,
you just need to know our?
We have taken the bids. And if you feel like you want to take formal fiscal court action, certainly we can.
I don't know if we need to or not, but I mean, if we need to,
I don't think that we looked into. Yeah. Right. There's a $30,000 requirement for fiscal court action on these things. I am quite confident that our bid is going to be well below $30,000, and so that's why we can just do bid. I mean, accept quotes. Yeah, I said bid. Accept quotes for tearing it down. We don't have to advertise and go through the bidding process for it.
Sounds like we all recognize it's a necessary step.
yeah. I mean, I didn't know if we had to declare that surplus or tear it. You know,
No,
we don't
we're-
have to formally approve it. That's fine. I just
Yeah, we're good on that aspect
Okay.
of needing, whether we need to. All right, anything else on the barn there? And then I put Sprocket on here because I think we're all proud of that, Sprocket. I was over there as, I think, all of us were not, but for the grand opening, it's a really impressive facility in there. I met several of the people who are, of course, know the ones who built it out, but the people who are actually in there have rented some of the facilities. They're in there working. Talked with some of them. I tell you what, there's some impressive people that have moved here to locate in there. It's not going to be just a matter of their ideas and what they have planned and the businesses, I think, that are going to come out of that. It's bringing entrepreneurs and innovative people into our community that probably wouldn't be here otherwise. Smart, energetic, people that are going to contribute to our community. So I just think it's a big positive.
I'm glad y'all convinced me to be for it.
Well, I told everybody I was you when I said that. Well, that guy, he wanted to be the, correct me if I'm wrong, in the top 10 entrepreneur destinies in the next 5 years, Paducah.
Yeah, that's,
Isn't that what he said?
that's John Truitt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he set a lofty goal, and I mean, these folks, I believe they could get it done. So
Truly cutting edge. Glad we're involved.
yeah, it's a big move forward, I think, for our community. So, anything else on Sprocket? All right, court orders.
It is ordered that the newly constructed road known as Southwind Drive in the Birch Bend subdivision be accepted into the county road system. The road begins at its junction with Kentucky 1286, aka North Friendship Road, and extends 1,320 feet southward to a dead end in a cul-de-sac, a distance of 0.251 miles.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion?
Steve, obviously all these meet all the requirements, right? I mean, I don't have to ask that question. but-
Wouldn't be here at this point.
Right, I understand. I just wanted to
Expected and
make sure that there was no question about
their
that.
last step before.
Right.
Exactly.
I know Randy wouldn't let us do it if it wasn't every rock and,
And I take it these all have to be separate votes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Well, so moved.
Is there a second?
second.
We already have it first and a second.
Oh,
All
sorry.
right. All right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the newly constructed road known as Lindenwood Drive in the Birch Bend subdivision be accepted into the county road system. The road begins at its junction with New Holt Road and extends westward 790 feet to Southwind Drive, a distance of 0.150 miles.
So moved.
Second.
So that's a typo, isn't it? A hold, it says New
Yes, sir.
Holt. It's
I will
new,
read it correctly, but
Yeah.
it is a typo.
yeah, it's New Holt, Holt Road. All right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the newly constructed road known as Shadowwood Court in the Birch Bend subdivision be accepted into the county road system. The road begins at its junction with Lindenwood Drive and extends 530 feet southward to a dead end in a cul-de-sac, a distance of 0.100 miles.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that a newly constructed section of Falcons Ridge Boulevard in the Falcons Ridge subdivision be accepted into the county road system. The road begins at its junction with the south end of the existing Falcons Ridge Boulevard and extends 200 feet southward to a dead end, a distance of 0.038 miles.
So made.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that a newly constructed section of Falcons Ridge Boulevard in the Falcons Ridge subdivision be accepted into the county road system. The road begins at its junction with the north end of the existing Falcons Ridge Boulevard and extends 520 feet southward to a dead end in a cul-de-sac, a distance of 0.098 miles.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that a newly constructed road known as Inglenook Lane in the Falcons Ridge subdivision be accepted into the county road system. The road begins at its junction with Falcons Ridge Boulevard and extends 515 feet southward to a dead end in a cul-de-sac, a distance of 0.098 miles.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the 2022 holiday schedule approved on November 22nd, 2021 is amended and corrected to reflect that the New Year's holiday will be on Friday, December 30th, 2022, and Monday, January 2nd, 2022.
So made.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. Let me back up just a second on all these subdivision roads and creating these two, or adding to these subdivisions. You know, I just think it's exciting and rewarding that we just talked about Sprocket. We just talked about you know, the assets that we're able to provide our neighbors from what we have in our county. You know, we talked about tearing down Barn 5 and going to put a nice facility in Carson Park. And, you know, I think a lot of times we don't do as good a job as we should of stepping back and think of the fruits of fruits of the labors. And I don't want to just go past that, get in that mode of just digging and working and getting things done, and then we go on to the next thing. But we have cause, I think, to celebrate in this community for what's been done and what we're going to do, and that's. Of course, we know about the sports complex, we know what we've done with the convention center, and I'm proud of what you guys have backed and gotten done, and our people that we have employed, and all our people, assets, and equipment, and everything. It just makes it a really a very rewarding job, and if we can provide that for the members of our community, and what's that? What was it, Pacino? I'm just getting warmed up.
Rock and roll, brother.
Yeah. So anyway, so there's that.
These are two different subdivisions that we've accepted new roads in.
Right. All
Are you
right.
ready to move
Let's
on?
talk about dogs and cats. Yes.
It is ordered that the judge executive is authorized to execute an updated contract with the McCracken County Humane Society. The first payment to the Humane Society in the new amount of $18,668.75 will be in January of 2022. The term of this contract is for 4 years.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion?
So we like this contract?
There's just a price difference is all there really is to it.
Looks about the same.
Come up, Steve, so I don't have the sound guy hollering at me when we go out of here. I promised him we'd go to the microphone.
It just represented, I think, a 3% increase in the fee, but your choice is, you know, sort of binary. It's that or try to develop your own shelter at, you know, a couple $1 million or more, or partner with the Humane Society for doing this.
Is the city also going to contract?
No, our contract with the city is we split costs based on call volume. So when we pay $18,000 a month, we get at least $9,000 a month from the city for that.
All right, so we've contracted with Humane Society, and then we have another contract with the city in which we share the cost of the Humane Society.
Right.
Any other changes in it? I know we've had some concerns in the past. We didn't have enough space out there. Any other changes?
That is still a concern, just the size of the facility and the way that Humane has changed over the years. When I came into the business years ago, euthanasia at Humane was common and done to make room. I don't do that anymore. That is not a acceptable practice at Humane anymore. So that creates space challenges for us from time to time, which can result in frustration with people that want us to impound dogs. So we're careful and selective, and only impound when we absolutely have to.
So we got a new director, we're getting
We have a
one.
new director. Yep.
She's already taken.
Yep.
Who is it?
You would have to ask me, right?
I can
here
tell you
at
couldn't
test
remember, that's
meeting.
why I asked.
And our animal control director, James Holler, came from the Humane Society, so he has a good, strong professional relationship with the staff over there, and things are going quite well. Would like to mention animal control also helped out in Graves County over the weekend, transporting some dogs to Humane here as well.
Yeah, I wondered if any horses had.
So we haven't had the livestock call yet. I did notice on social media there were people saying, if you have livestock, you need a place to take it, bring it to me. There was some of that going on. As far as I know, we haven't moved any horses, but we did move some animals to the Humane Society in Paducah. That will be an ongoing problem in that county as well, I'm sure.
I was told there was, I guess there was more than one field of cattle, but 50 head of cattle that were, well, I guess, literally in the wind Friday night, and I don't know if they were found or not, but they got sucked up and don't know where they landed. And,
Literally in the wind, I like it.
yeah. So.
Her name is Tracy
Tracy Phelps.
Tracy who?
Phelps.
I think I know her.
Well, I'm not surprised.
He does know everything.
He knows everybody.
Hey, I stopped by the Humane Society from time to time. I like it place. It's a cool place, really.
I got a good dog from there back about a year ago.
Have you called for a vote on that motion?
I don't know. We're just up there just wandering around.
I'm for it.
Okay. I believe you did. Commissioner Parker confirms that you have.
Yes.
Oh, we voted on it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we did?
We were
Yeah.
discussing it.
Yeah, but I don't think we actually voted.
No, we did.
Well, I think the vote was taken and
Okay.
then the judge started someone started
Okay.
discussing.
Well, either way, I'm for it. Okay.
I'm here for it, Robert.
All right. Aye.
It is ordered that the judge executive is authorized to execute an amended memorandum of understanding with jailer David Knight, setting forth a total contribution of $169,000 from the jail towards various costs, including salary increases, automobile purchases, and transfers, as well as a contribution from the jail commissary fund toward a portion of one administrative assistant's salary in the amount of $6,240 annually.
Well, I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion second.
What does it mean to say 169,000 from the jail? Is that from the commissary fund?
It's all commissary.
Okay.
So the math on it is, you previously, with David, he contributes $100,000 to salary increases, and we do that vis-a-vis the commissary. And instead of him handing money to the treasurer, he pays medical bills, authorized use for the money, because that's a, I don't know, $600,000-700,000 a year issue for us. So that's $100,000 that will be ongoing. And then there was a one-time, if you'll recall, at budget time, you purchased a couple cars. He contributed $50,000 more from commissary to medical bills. The auto purchases have already occurred. You bought those through the jail budget. The third thing is when we transferred an employee from the sheriff's department to the jail, we had a car need for that person who is an investigator, and so the sheriff is saying you can keep the car. It was purchased with drug funds, so he can't directly purchase it with commissary, so will be another $19,000 in medical bills, and we have another order tonight to purchase the car from the sheriff and let it be used in the jail. Then, if you recall, if you've been reading old audits, we just get hammered by the auditor about the commissary fund and how it was managed, that we didn't have direct control over that. Jailer Knight has changed that. We've switched companies. And with those comments about regaining local control over the inmate funds and the commissary funds, it requires some additional work for somebody. So that check, that $6,200, that will be directly from the commissary to the treasurer, and then in turn we'll turn that into salary for an employee that will take on those additional duties. We have an order on tonight for that.
So this money is coming to the county fund from the jail commissary fund, and
Yes.
then the fiscal court will approve any salary increases or any equipment purchases or vehicle purchases.
Correct. So the vehicle purchase thing has already happened in the past at this point. That was an arrangement that we made at budget time. So those automobiles, 2 of the automobiles have been purchased. A third one is pending, and you have an order for it tonight.
All right. So $50,000 for 2 vehicles that can transport inmates.
Yep.
$6,240 is for someone to help administer the commissary fund, which is a problem, and that helps inmates because they get more accountability with the commissary fund. If I'm the auditor, I question the $19,000 for a car unless it's somehow related to inmate health and welfare.
The jailer's here tonight. I'll let you answer that, but we've discussed that.
I'm not the auditor, but that would be my question
We've
if I were the
discussed that
auditor.
internally. The purpose of that will be to monitor inmates that are working off-site. So that's a daily issue for the jailer.
I'll let the jailer have a conversation. Sounds like they're ready for it.
Anything else on that? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that $19,000 be paid to McCracken County Sheriff Drug Fund for the purchase of a 2017 Nissan Maxima VIN 1N4AA6AP5HC for the jail. This vehicle was originally purchased by the Sheriff's Department with drug seizure funds.
So moved.
Second.
How was the value of that vehicle determined? $19,000 for a 5-year-old vehicle sounds awful high.
The sheriff told me that was a book value, or what you had into a value. Catching up on emails, what we're talking about. The maximum.
We purchased the vehicle, plus there's some equipment in it.
Oh, that's right.
The equipment, okay.
So instead of stripping the car, it's going to the jail, it's
Okay.
equipped.
The equipment usually costs $5,000 or $6,000, doesn't it, to equip a car?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the number right in front of me, but
Okay.
it was a few $1,000s of equipment that we just chose.
Okay.
Gentleman win for both. They seem to supply his need, and as we've discussed in the past with drug vehicles, it's good every few years to rotate them out
Okay.
for a number of reasons.
All right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the rate of pay of Heather Foster, Administrative Assistant at the McCracken County Jail, is increased from $18.25 per hour to $21.25 per hour, effective December 26, 2021. This increase coincides with the additional duties assigned tracking commissary monies. The additional $3 per hour will be reimbursed to McCracken County Fiscal Court by the Jail Commissary Fund.
So made.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered to approve the November transient room tax in the amount of $354,694.48 to be dispersed as follows. Paducah CBV, $104,292.18. Convention Center, $70,706.12. Sports Tourism Commission, $107,819.12. Escrow Fund, $71,877.06.
So made.
Second.
Discussion?
Back over 6.
Hmm?
We're back over 6 figures.
To the roof of the convention center, is that how we were going to pay that? With some money that was left over in the escrow fund? And is there enough money in there to do that?
So,
So one of the challenges with that is we had a belief about 18 months ago that was about a $1.1 million project. We have reason to believe that's significantly higher at this point. At one point, reputable local firm said, I think we need to wait, and otherwise you're going to pay twice for a roof. So that's sort of the dilemma right now with it. I feel comfortable that 2% could shoulder the burden of $1 million project over time, but not a double that. You're going to eat into some. So we were hopeful that with the passage of time, not a whole lot of time, that we would see some recovery in the industry. Haven't seen that yet with, and then what's going to happen regionally in the construction market. That's not going to get any easier.
Yes? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. That carries.
Pursuant to order of November 22nd, 2021, it is hereby ordered that the salary increases in the Sheriff's Department set out on Attachment A to those employees listed on said Attachment A are to be effective beginning December 26, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? No? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that $20,000 be paid to Flores and Associates for upfront funding of the A2 plan year for county employees. It is further ordered that effective January 1, 2022, Flores and Associates will become our plan administrator for FSA plans at a rate of $3.95 PEPM and HRA plans at a rate of $3.50 PEPM.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is
Resolution.
hereby ordered that a resolution be adopted and enacted for the purpose of complying with CDBG and DLG requirements related to requirements of Title 8 of the 1968 Civil Rights Act, Federal Fair Housing Law, in relation to the Utilities Grant Project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is hereby ordered that pursuant to KRS Chapter 67, the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2021-18 shall be conducted in summary format as follows. An ordinance amending the McCracken zoning code is set forth in McCracken County Ordinance number 2017-07 as amended by amending the locations for solar energy systems and establishing the regulations relating to the use, installation, and maintenance of same. Summary: the action effectuated in the present ordinance is authorized by Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapter 100, and all actions in relation to its enactment were taken in strict compliance with KRS Chapter 100 and all McCracken County local regulations enacted pursuant to the same. This ordinance operates to amend the McCracken County zoning ordinance regulations by amending the locations for solar energy systems and establishing the regulations relating to the use, installation, and maintenance of same. It is hereby certified by the County Fiscal Court that the present summary represents an accurate official statement of the main points of and contents of ordinance number 2021-18. A true and correct copy of ordinance number 2021-18 shall be made available for public inspection in its whole and complete form by the McCracken County Judge Executive's Office. Any person desiring to inspect ordinance number 2021-18 contact the McCracken County Judge Executive's Office via telephone at 270-444-4707 to make arrangements for the transmission or delivery of the same.
So made.
Second.
I have an amendment I want to make to this ordinance.
Okay.
I want to move to strike the words "or other surety" as they appear on page 4 of 5 of the ordinance, section 2 of the ordinance, the paragraph called decommissioning. And it's the last 3 words of that section. I would move to delete those words because they're just, I don't think they mean anything, and I don't think they're necessary. And they could be confusing as to the words that precede those words.
You gonna make a motion for that?
I did.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
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 You got
Yeah, I
that
sent,
word?
I sent a picture to Vicki.
Okay. All right. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. That carries. All right. And,
Sir, was the second motion there, was that on the original ordinance? I'm sorry, I may have jumped the gun.
Yeah.
Oh, that
We
was
voted
just
on the amendment. We haven't voted on the second reading yet.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we need to vote on the second reading as amended then.
So we have a motion.
Yeah, we did make
Aye.
a motion. Aye. Aye.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right, that carries.
Okay.
Okay,
It is hereby ordered that pursuant to KRS Chapter 67, the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2021-19 shall be conducted in summary format as follows. Commonwealth of Kentucky, McCracken County Fiscal Court, ordinance number 2021-19, an ordinance amending the future land use map, a component of the McCracken County Comprehensive Plan, and updating the McCracken County Comprehensive Plan to reflect changes to map 9. The action effectuated in the present ordinance is required by Kentucky Revised Statutes, Section 100.197, and operates to formally adopt the amendments made to Map 9 of the future land use map, a component of McCracken County Comprehensive Plan, by the McCracken County Planning Commission after having introduced, discussed, and enacted the same hearing conducted on October 26, 2021. It is hereby certified by the McCracken County Fiscal Court that the present summary represents an accurate official statement of the main points of and contents of ordinance number 2021-19. Ordinance number 2021-19 shall be available for public inspection in its whole and complete form in the McCracken County Judge Executive's Office during ordinary business hours.
So moved.
Second.
discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. That carries.
It is hereby ordered that pursuant to KRS Chapter 67, the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2021-20 shall be conducted in summary format as follows. McCracken County, Kentucky, McCracken County Fiscal Court, ordinance number 2021-20, an ordinance amending the McCracken County Administrative Code by amending the open records policy to effectuate a change in the name of the open records custodian set out in said open records policy adopted in ordinance number 2021-15. The action taken by the present ordinance amends ordinance number 2021-09, which repealed and replaced ordinance 2016-08 and all amendments thereto, including ordinance 2021-15, and further amends the county's open records policy as it relates to the designation of the open records custodian required by said open records policy. It is hereby certified by the McCracken County Fiscal Court that the present summary represents an accurate official statement of the main points of and contents of ordinance number 2021-20. A true and correct copy of ordinance number 2021-20 shall be made available for public inspection in its whole and complete form by the McCracken County Judge Executive's Office during ordinary business hours.
So made.
Second.
There's an Exhibit A that has the change. That,
The Exhibit A is to the ordinance.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's changing to the Office of McCracken County Judge Executive.
Does it have to designate a position in there, or just is the office fine? Does it have to say the judge executive or the administrative assistant, or is that okay to just say the judge executive's office? Does it have to have an individual or a position?
I don't think it has to. And if you're more comfortable stating a position,
I don't remember reading what the Attorney General sent, whether it had, how specific it had to be. I've got no problem with that because that's our intent, but I just want to make sure that we're in compliance.
well, I know what's going to happen when it comes to my office. It's going to go to her.
I mean, should we put in there that that's who it goes to, or?
I mean, I'm comfortable with it saying the office.
There's only 4 people that work in that office, and if Vicky happens to be gone, then it's going to be me. We've kind of worked out how we
Okay.
manage it.
Just as long as that complies, that's fine.
I don't really like the fact that the Attorney General gets to tell us what to do, but I guess I digress.
You can live with it. All right. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, no. That carries.
It is hereby ordered that pursuant to KRS Chapter 67, the first reading of ordinance number 2021-21 shall be conducted in summary format as follows. An ordinance amending the McCracken County Ordinance number 2021-05 by making revisions to the proposed fiscal year 2021-2022 operating budget by modifications in receipts of the road, federal, sheriff funds, and contingent appropriations in strict compliance with the mandates of Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapter 68. The present ordinance makes revisions to Ordinance 2021-05, McCracken County proposed fiscal year 2021-2022 operating budget pertaining to the modification of receipts of the road, federal, and sheriff funds. It is hereby certified by the McCracken County Fiscal Court that the present summary represents an accurate official statement of the main points of and contents of ordinance number 2021-21. Ordinance number 2021-21 shall be available for public inspection in its whole and complete form in the McCracken County Judge Executive's office during ordinary business hours.
Second. So the $200,000 grant, that's the grant we did the resolution for. It's at the West Kentucky Allied Services Utility Help. Okay. Thank you.
Any more discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. We don't have any need for executive session, do we? You don't know anything for executive session? I don't. All right, so is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, aye. Opposed, no. That carries. Thank you, folks.